All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today, I just want to do a quick lesson on pretty much, this government shutdown that has been going on. It's been, about 2 weeks now, and it's just been announced that, number 47 is going to cut off these women's food stamps, in November, because, we made mention of it at camp, and other brothers have been going into it. So, I'm just going to do my own personal response to, this particular situation. So, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point, and I'm just going to entitle this, man. Y'all thought it was a game. And indeed, a lot of you women, you really thought it was a game. Like, you thought that you were going to be on, this government assistance, forever. That it was just going to continue. Things are just going to be how they were. I seen, just a number of videos today, women crying and complaining about, oh, well, I can't get my food stamps and this. I'm going to start stealing. Well, again, that was the plan all along, excuse me, Slakia, to pretty much starve you people out, to cause, insurrection, which is, insurrection is just, the people rebelling against the government. And that's what's coming, but you women, you losing these different government benefits. Again, you were too comfortable. You've been living deliciously, here in America, man, getting, Section 8, vouchers, having the government pay your rent, rent only being like $10, $12 or however much, each month, each month, food stamps, WIC, these different government assistance programs to help you, right? But it was all to do what? To get the man out of the house. And a lot of you fell for it, man. Starting with your grandmothers and great-grandmothers, man, because a lot of them are the reason why a lot of you are the way you are now. Now, this isn't to sit here and just, my main, just me personally, as far as doing my videos, it's not always about the woman. Again, it's a topic that comes up, but again, this particular topic, it affects you, you women of the world, obviously. Now, if there are, brothers and sisters that may be on this, again, that may have been getting food stamps, just, to, put food in the house. There's nothing wrong with that, but still, man, we're not supposed to just solely depend on the government to take care of you, because again, like a lot of these people really thought that this was going to be forever, and it wasn't. And a lot of you women, because you're the main ones, that benefit from these different things, you're going to suffer the most once all hell breaks loose, And again, it's been proven time and time again that you Edomites, especially you white women, you're the main ones that are on welfare, the biggest welfare recipients. But what, that stigma is primarily being put on who? Israelite women, primarily the so-called black women, because it's a curse, But again, a lot of you are about to suffer out here, man. So just understand that, the warning has been going out. But what? You have this mentality that, oh, well, you don't need a man. You can do, everything, this, that, and the third by yourself, right? Well, cool. Because again, that time is coming where you women are going to need men to help you, to protect you from what's about to take place on this earth, right? And don't forget, a draft is coming. The draft is coming. The famine is on the way too. Because again, a lot of you are sitting there just panicking already. They didn't even cut them yet. Or if they did, again, a lot of you women are panicking. You don't know what to do. When I say you women, I'm speaking of the Israelite women in particular. Damn the Edomite woman. She doesn't matter. She's just, me personally, she's just something to do. That's it. Other than that, I don't give a damn about her. But you Israelite women, this is your time now to turn to the Lord while you still can, which the majority of you won't. Just like you wicked niggas out there, you ain't gonna turn to the Lord, just like you should, but you won't because you're too stuck in the way of America. You've been westernized, man. You're still in that heathenistic state of mind, so you feel as serving the Lord is grievous or turning to the Lord is too difficult, man. No, you just don't want to stop being wicked, but it is what it is. So I'm not gonna ramble too long, man, because again, to me, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see, you women starting to get what you deserve for being demons, man. A lot of you have put men, out of the house, put them on child support, have done these different things, and now you're about to suffer. Now the Lord is about to pay you women back for all the evil that you have done unto the men of your nation, So I'm going to start with the book of Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 8, and it says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease," and you women have been at ease, man. I'm talking about watching these videos earlier, women complaining about how they had it good. Oh, well, I'm going to teach my children's children how to get on, welfare and do this and this. Oh, well, I don't have to work. I get this much money in government benefits. I can work if I want to, but I don't want to. Like a lot of you women that have been lazy as shit. Lazy, you don't want to work, just depending on the government to take care of you. Well, that's not how it's supposed to be. You've been at ease. Continuing on, it says, "Hear my voice, ye careless daughters," talking about you Israelite women, because you have been careless. "Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled." And again, you're starting to feel that trouble. Caesar has cut off your food stamps, number 47, and now you're mad at him. Just understand that we're in that time. Jacob's trouble is beginning. It's not coming, it's here. We're in the beginning stages of it, man, because things are getting more and more intense. And I know I ain't the first brother that said this, but either way it goes, man, 2026 is finna be a hell of a year, man. Things are about to be worse 2026. We're just going to see exactly what happens. Just like 2025, started out with a bang, man. Just so much happened just within the first week, really the first day, man. We'll see how 2026 plays out. The one thing we do know for sure is that things are going to be worse than they are now. You people are going to wish that you were back in 2020. 2020 was the worst year ever. We couldn't go outside. We couldn't do this, that, and the third. That was a cakewalk, man. Y'all mad because y'all had to sit y'all asses in the house? Y'all gonna wish y'all was back then. Y'all damn well gonna wish you was back in the early 2000s, the 90s. That time is gone. You're gonna wish you were back in those times because of how difficult things are about to become. So I'm gonna start over at verse 10. Isaiah 32 and 10, it says, "Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come." And right, man, watching one of the elder brothers video earlier, that was you women's job, to go and fetch things, go and draw water, to pick fruit, to do these various things, man, because a woman's role is beautiful when she's in her femininity, doing exactly what she was put on this earth to do, to be an helpmeet to her husband, and that's part of you women's purpose, to be a wife, to be a mother. But a lot of you have fallen far from that. You know, you've forgotten your role, but you're going to remember it very soon. But just like it says, the venture shall fail. So again, these different government benefits are being taken away, you know. So what? That desperation is going to set in. So you women are going to do whatever just to try to survive. And just like watching one of the brothers, you know, I think it's the elder brother Mahaloya and KC. I was watching his video earlier, man. Like a lot of you women that wasn't doing it before, you're going to start selling box, man, for food, you know, for whatever. You're going to start selling it. Because I remember hearing a chick say that a long time ago. Oh, I would never do that. This, man, you women say that now. But wait until that hunger sets in. Wait until that desperation sets in. You know, you're going to be doing things that you never thought you would do, you know. And this isn't, you know, me being, you know, cruel. This is the reality of the world that we live in. That a lot of you women are going to resort to prostitution in order to try to survive. You know, is that going to be every woman? No, but a lot of you, that's going to be the case. Why? Because you've been living good on this side, man. So now you're gonna be brought low. Verse 11, tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare. Gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. All right, man, you women are troubled. Now you're starting to see that things is getting bad out here. One woman talking about, oh, well, I'm going to go to the grocery store, get what I normally get. I'm going to swipe my card. If it doesn't, if it declines, I'm going to walk right out. Then I'm going to bring one of my cousins with you and this, that, and the third. Keep that same energy, sweetheart. Keep that same energy. Because you ain't going to be the only one out here that's going to be stealing. Other people are going to do this. So the grocery store is going to be one of the worst places to be, you know, once this takes place. Because, again, that's all people are going to be doing. They're going to be looting, you know, stealing whatever food that they can because they're not going to be able to pay for it. You know, they can't afford it. While the dollar, you know, the value of the dollar is constantly going down, man. Things are becoming more and more expensive. Food is becoming more and more expensive, you know. The cost of living, the price of everything is going up. So it's going to get more and more difficult for people, especially you women, and especially you single women, you women that are on your own, you single mothers. You're the ones that are going to catch it the worst, you know, because you don't have a hedge of protection, which is what a man to protect you, you know. And right now you're lamenting, you're crying because you're losing your government benefits. Oh, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, you better figure it out, you know. You better figure it out. Because all I'm going to say is this. To all you women out there that, you know, you don't need no man, you're strong and independent. Your strong and independent ass is going to have to protect yourself. Don't come running to me. Let alone any brother, any man of the Lord, man. Don't come running to us. You will be rejected. If you're not slated to be saved, if you're not one of the elect ladies, you will not be saved. You will be rejected. You will be left out here to fend for yourself. I don't feel sorry for any of you. I don't. As a matter of fact, let me stay in Isaiah 32 real quick. I want to jump up. This is Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 2. And it says, a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, which is talking about the destruction. It says, in a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Again, the point being, it says a man shall be as an hiding place, and not just any man, a man of the Lord, an elect man, you know, because you women are going to seek help during that time, you know, because again, things are getting more and more difficult, which is why this is going to take place. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1, and it says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. And right, man, that desperation is going to set in because, again, a draft is coming. A lot of men are going to die out here. So therefore, there's only going to be few men left, which is going to be who? The elect men. Obviously, there'll still be men out here, but the elect men are going to be fine, man. They're gonna survive, Certain of the elect, may be beheaded, pursuing to Revelation 20:4. But again, that's their testimony. They'll be dying an honorable death, for the Lord, But again, sticking to the main point that, an elect man is going to be as in a hiding place. 7 just represents completion. It can be any number of women. It could literally be 7, 10, 12, 20, 100, however many, the Lord, is going to have cleave to that particular Israelite man, that elect Israelite man in that day or during that particular time, because again, desperation is going to set in and we're starting to see it. It's going to get worse because all I'm going to say is I'm going to continue to laugh at you wicked women out there that are suffering from this. It's funny to me, because you're worthy to be laughed at. You hate the men of your own nation, so therefore the Lord is paying you back for it, So I'm going to get 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 33. And it says, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. And why are these different women going to mourn? Because they're not going to have any men to protect them. Why? Verse 34, and the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Right, man, a lot of men are going to die out here. So whatever men get drafted to go and fight during World War III, they're not coming home, It's not going to be like it, was during World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War. They go to these different countries, going to war with these other nations, and then they're coming back. The survivors are coming back, or even the soldiers that perished, they're being sent back in body bags. No. Those of you men and even you women that get drafted to go and fight during this World War, this Third World War, you're not coming back home. You're going to die over there in the region of Saudi Arabia, somewhere over there, in particular, somewhere in that region. But that's why a lot of women are going to be left defenseless out here, because a lot of men are going to die. If they don't die in a war, they're going to be slain by the sword, which the modern day sword is a gun, or that, they'll be killed somehow, or they're going to starve by the famine, or the famine. They're going to starve to death. Now, men are going to be put to death in these various fashions, but what? The Lord is going to make sure that his men are okay, right? So, staying in Isaiah, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 13. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. And right, man, the Lord's men, his women, the elect women and children as well. But, again, primarily the men, they're going to eat in that day, man. The Lord is going to take care of his men. They're going to eat. They're going to have food to eat. They're going to have water to drink. They're going to be happy. While what? The wicked of our people and these other nations, what? You're going to be hungry. But this primarily applies to you wicked Israelites, man. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be thirsty. You're going to be vexed in the spirit. You're going to be ashamed because you're going to understand that, Lord willing, I myself, be of the elect. But you're going to realize that we were the men of the Lord the entire time, man, and that we tried to help you. But what? You didn't take heed to the warning. And it's going to be on you. You know, we gave you the warning, but you didn't listen. Verse 14, it says, Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So a lot of you are going to die of starvation once this famine is in full effect, because there's going to be two famines. You know, the literal famine of bread and water, and the famine of hearing, you know, the word of the Lord. Because again, a lot of you are going to seek answers, you know. While now you still have time to get the answers. While it's out here, while the internet is still up, while the Lord's men are still out here on the street, you know. You have the answers. But what? You're just going to waste your time until it's too late. You know, because what do? You mock us. You scoff at us. You know, you talk shit. You do these different things to us, not understanding that we're trying to help you. We're just simply giving you a warning from the Heavenly Father. You know, let me grab that. In Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17, and it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. And this is what we've been doing, you know, starting from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, you know, the bishops and elders on down. We've been giving you that warning. We've been telling you that all hell is about to break loose. We've been telling you that a famine is coming. You know, Jacob's trouble, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. We've been telling you, you know, the destruction of America. We've been telling you these various things are about to take place. But what? You don't hear us, man. But at the end of the day, just like it's going to say in these latter verses, which I'm not going to get, you know, that, you know, we're to properly warn our people. And if we give that warning, we're getting your blood off of our hands, you know. So it's up to you on whether or not you take heed when that warning is given. If you take heed, you'll be saved, you know. But if we don't give a warning, then not only will you die in your sins, but your blood will be required at our hands. And we're not trying to have that happen, you know, which is why we're warning you. We're telling you to get right, you know, before the Lord brings destruction upon this place, you know. Because at the end of the day, you can't say you didn't know, because we told you. We told you, you know. Slakia, so I'm going to end it with this. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 2, and verse 5. And it says, And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know. Slakia. Start over Ezekiel chapter 2 and verse 5. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall they know that there hath been a prophet among them. So right, once you start to see these various things that we have been talking about, you know, come to pass, you're going to realize that a prophet hath been among you. You know, our friends, our family, you know, these different people in the world that interact with us, you're going to realize that there was a prophet among you, that we tried to warn you. But what it says, whether you forbear or whether you hear or whether you forbear, you know, we did our part. We gave you the warning, you know, and it was up to you to take heed. And if you take heed, you know, you'll be saved if you're of the elect. And if not, you're just, you know, you're going to die of one of the four sword judgments out here, you know. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I say, Shalom.